Using Photoshop can be a great way to repair old images. In this video, we're gonna be learning how to restore old image like that one in here and turn that one maybe into a clean black and white image, or even if we need to colorize that one, we can be turning that one into any of these two versions. So let's see how we can do that. We're gonna be selecting that file in here because we have some selections already made for us, which might be saving us some time. Going to Window, Arrange, Consolidate to all tabs. So let me disable that layer so we can start from scratch. Now I have disabled all layers. However, I have a quick selection mask added to that layer, and you will find that image in your resources so you can follow along, guys. So basically you can be duplicating your background layer and drawing a quick selection mask using maybe quick selection tool. You can be going over your shape in here and selecting that guy, and maybe removing that part from your selection, pressing Alt or Option key to remove that part, and maybe adding that part ear area, removing that, and also the other ear. Now we have that selection. You can be duplicating your background layer and you can be applying that mask in here so you can have the same step just like that one. However, I'm gonna be removing that one because I already enhanced that mask later, which might be saving us some time. So let me delete that layer, drag it to here. Now we have our layer selected. Also, we can be selecting our image. Also, can be disabling that layer for a second. And we can be selecting our image, desaturating that image because we already had that sepia color within our image. So we can be pressing Command Shift U, or we can be going to Image Adjustments, then selecting Desaturate using Shift Command or Control U. Now we can be enabling that mask once again, right click, enable layer mask, and also we can be disabling that background for now. Now let's start zooming in a bit. Basically, we're going to be using retouching tools to restore that image. So for instance, we can start using spot healing brush tool. Then we can go over these spots in here. Of course, we can apply that on a separate layer as well. So let's create a new layer and renaming that one retouching. Now going over these lines in here. All these spots and cracks within that image. Spot healing tool can be a very good start for retouching these images. As you can see, it's doing amazing job so far. Increasing brush size a bit. Also, what's really amazing about that tool that we can be fixing some pixeled areas like that area in here. So we're working on these pixels just like that. Sometimes you might need to redo these strokes in some certain areas to get better results. You can go over these pixels in here to hide them Now we can be switching to healing brush tool to have more control over our sampling areas. So we're gonna be sampling from that area in here, going over the part, blending those two lines. Now switching back to spot healing brush tool, blending these lines even better. Now in order to fix that area in here, we can be copying that mask to our retouching layer, pressing Alt or Option key, moving our mask to that layer. Now we are hiding these areas and selecting our retouching layer once again, selecting clone stamp tool and opening our clone source panel. Now I'm gonna be sampling from that iPro to place it in here. So I'm gonna be pressing Alt, increasing brush size first. Now I'm gonna be sampling from that area in here, pressing Alt, and I'm gonna be flipping that one horizontally so we can place that one on left side. Now we might need using spot healing brush tool with a smaller brush size, blending these areas even better, and even adding some changes to that iPro. Now we have a slight difference in that one, so they are not identical, which is common in most people. And also for that part in here, I'm gonna be cloning that part from here. So switching to clone stamp tool, pressing S, sampling from here, pressing Alt or Option key. And also we have that one flipped, so we can start painting over that with reflection or mirror, and switching back to spot healing tool, going over these areas in here just to blend that shade. Now we have almost restored that face. You can do the same for his shirt, or even you can be borrowing a shirt from another image, maybe even a PNG shirt with no background, so you don't have to draw that one. So let me quickly grab that one. We have that shirt in here, so let me open that one. You will find that one as well in your resources. Now we have that layer selected. I'm going to be pressing Command C or Control C to copy that layer and going back to my image. Not this one, maybe this one. Oh, not that one as well. So I'm going to go for black and white, repaired. That's our file we're working on, and I'm going to be pasting that Command V. Now we have that shirt with a lower resolution as it's so small within our image. However, it's gonna be working fine within that example since we have already too much pixels and grains within our image. So let me transform that one, pressing Command or Control T, moving that shirt, pressing Alt to enlarge in center, just quickly trying to adjust that one, maybe to that area. Instead of fixing his own shirt, that will be a quick fix for us. And even it's gonna be looking nicer because we don't have any details in here. As you can see, we have too many spots and we don't have any details for buttons or anything. So that could be a very nice fixing for that one. However, of course, we can be fixing that one to some extent, and maybe we can be colorizing that one later. However, this one will be looking even better. Now we can be right clicking that shirt again, switching to warp, so we can be even distorting that a bit. Most important points would be his neck. You don't have to worry about his shoulders now. Make sure you are getting that one close to his neck. Hitting return. Zooming in a bit. Using smudge tool and smudging that one a bit. And maybe on that side too. Now we can be adding a hue saturation layer for that shirt and desaturating that one, making that one specific for our layer, pressing Alt or Option key and clicking between those two layers. Now selecting our mask for our original image with black on foreground and hiding that part from his shirt. And selecting that shirt, selecting eraser tool, converting that one into hard brush, increasing hardness, and reducing brush size using left square bracket, and removing that part from that shirt, and same as well for that area. Selecting our mask once again, brush tool, using a hard brush as well, reducing our brush size and maybe removing that part from our mask as well. Selecting our retouching mask as well and removing that part from here. Now we can be rotating our canvas, pressing R, so we have better controls while we're removing or adjusting that mask, zooming in a bit. Now we have our retouching mask selected. Anytime we can be removing either any of these masks and duplicate the other one instead of adjusting both of them simultaneously. However, I'm gonna go the hard way, selecting retouching mask, rotating our canvas even a bit, switching to brush and painting over that part in here, selecting our original mask as well. Maybe we should have applied these changes on our original layer, even for easier workflow. That's also how you can be adjusting your quick selection mask, because you will be having too many pixels and jagged lines, so you can be smoothing them using the same technique I'm doing in here. And once you are done, you can be pressing X to rotate your canvas or get it back as it was. Now switching to our touching layer, don't forget to select your layer instead of the mask, and switching to spot healing brush tool, adjusting these areas in here to have a better skin tone in those areas. Now we can be merging those two layers, selecting both of them, pressing Command or Control to select two layers, right click, then selecting merge layers. Now in order to apply our mask once again, we can be pressing Command or Control on our layer to have that selection once again. Then we can be adding mask to our layer, then selecting our image once again. Now we have too much noise within our image and grains, so we're going to be applying a filter, and I'm not going to be converting that one into a smart object. However, if you want to preserve your layer, you can be doing so. I'm going to go for noise. We have reduce noise. I'm going to be selecting that one. And instantly we have a smoother image, as you can see. We have strength set to 10, and I'm reducing preserve details, as I don't really care about details in that image, to compensate for that severe damage what we had within our image, those grains and pixels. And also I'm selecting reduce color noise all the way to 92%, and I'm reducing sharpen details. You can be increasing that to sharpen details However, I prefer to keep it that way. So we have a softer image that we can be sharpening some parts even later. Now I'm gonna be applying that, and you can be pressing Command Z to see the difference, and Shift Command or Control Z to redo that. And in case your image has a severe damage, you can be applying that filter twice. So you can go to filter after applying that one and selecting noise and adding reduce noise once again. And if you want to go for extreme results, you can also add Gaussian blur. Going to blur, you can be selecting Gaussian blur or even surface blur. So you can be adding a bit of that, actually going for blur, maybe Gaussian blur. You can be increasing bits just a little bit to our image to completely get rid of any noise within our image. Pressing OK. Now we can be applying a liquify filter just to adjust the chin. So going to filter liquify and zooming in a bit, grabbing our warp tool and slightly amending the chin. And also maybe for his ears we can be moving that one slightly up, pressing OK. And now we can be adding some shadows using our burn tool and selecting shadows with 25% exposure and going for hair, adding some shadows in there, just going for more definition for our image to compensate for that blur, and also to sharpen details, reducing brush size, going over mouth, eyes as well, enhancing hairline, and his ears are missing details as well. Make sure to work on edges as well so you don't have that halo. Can be adding bits of highlights as well, selecting dodge tool, highlights, or even midtones, and adding some highlights to his face, increasing brush size a bit, adding more highlights to his skin. Now we can be adding some contrast to our layer, selecting brightness and contrast adjustment layer, adding contrast to our image. We can keep enhancing details using other tools as well, and also we can be retouching our background, or even we can be borrowing a brand new one, which I did in that example. So if we check our original image in here, if we press option, clicking on that layer, we're gonna be seeing our original layer. So don't have any special background in here, and it's so full of cracks and dots. So instead we can be placing any background layer. So instead I used that background layer in here, that one, and also that one. You can be trying both of them. However, let me show my layers once again, that one and that one, hiding that original layer. And we have that cool shirt in here, and also our saturation layer. Now we can be arranging that layer behind our object and enabling that one, adding also a hue saturation adjustment layer, desaturating our background and linking that one to our background layer, pressing Alt or Option key, clicking in between. Now we can be rearranging that brightness contrast layer to be above our shirt, so that way it can be blending even more. Now we have restored that image. You can go even for more contrast, applying more filters and highlights, shadows. Totally up to you guys, and you can be checking that layer, pressing Alt or Option key to check the difference between these two layers.